Hello everyone, my name is Akanksha, and in today's lecture, we are going to cover the topic Calculation in Geometry 3D Shapes Part 2. Since this is Part 2 on this topic, so it should be understood that we have already covered Part 1 on Calculation in Geometry 3D Shapes. In Part 1, we have covered many what is mean by 3D shapes, all popular kind of 3D shapes from which you can expect questions in your CLAT exam. In this particular lecture, again we are going to look at the same topic, 3D shapes. All kind of shapes I'm going to cover in this week, in this lecture also, but very briefly. And also I will be giving you formulas, but main focus of today's lecture would be question solving. So problems on popular 3D shapes. So in first part, I have spent more time on what is shapes, what are the formulas, how do we define parameters like height with h, radius with r, all those things. But today's lecture focus would be on problem solving. So let's get started. So first is introduction. Geometry in CLAT primarily focuses on mensuration involving volume, surface areas, and basic properties of 3D shapes such as cubes, cuboids, cylinders, cones, spheres, and hemispheres. All these shapes I'm going to show you. I have already drawn all these shapes and I'm going to show you what is mean by cubes, what is cuboids, what are cylinders, what are cones, spheres, hemispheres, everything. So basically 3D shapes are the shapes which are in 3D plane. For example, a matchbox or a ball. So matchbox is a 3D shape and a ball is a 2D shape. But a circle as compared to circle is a 2D shape. So that is the difference between, so this is a circle, this is a 2D shape, and a sphere is a ball, so solid ball. So that is the difference between 3D and 2D shapes. So now first shape is cube. So cube looks like this shape. You can see over here, this is a cube. So what is a cube shape? Say you can guess the idea, you can get the idea. But here all sides of a cube are equal. So this side is again A, this side is A, this side is A. So all sides are equal. So that is cube. And if side is given, you can compute volume using this formula and surface area using this formula. Similarly, cuboid. Here is the shape. So in cuboid, what is the difference? Here all sides are different. So this is length, this is height, this is a width. So H is height, B is width, L is the length. This is cuboid. So if L, H and B all sides are given, volume is equal to L into B into H and surface area is equal to 2 times L into B plus B into H plus L into H. So I've spent more time on these formulas and what is mean by volume, what is mean by surface area in our first part. So I would highly recommend you to please go through part 1 before going into part 2. Next shape is cylinder. So cylinder is this kind of shape. So here you can see this is a cylinder. So in cylinder is consist of 3 parts. So one is this circle, okay, top circle, bottom circle. They both are equal with same radius and this curved surface. Okay, so cylinder has 3 shapes. So one is this top circle, bottom circle, and this curved area. So this is a cylinder. So cylinder ka volume you can compute using height and the radius. So height of the cylinder and radius of a cylinder are 2 parameters. So if you know these 2 parameters, you can compute volume using this formula, curved surface using this formula, and total surface area using this formula. So what is curved surface area? So this surface you can, so the paper you need to form a cylinder. So this vertical surface. Total surface area is this curved surface plus this circle and this circle. Okay, cone is another 3D shape which looks like this. So in cone you have one curved surface and one circle. So you can see that this bottom circle and this shape, curved shape. In cone, you have three parameters. One is this radius of this bottom circle, height of the cone, which is similar to the as you had height in cylinder also. Radius also you have same, but here you have slant length. Okay, slant length. So this L. So slant length is this length. So slant length you can actually compute if you know R and H. Slant length you can compute using Pythagorean theorem. We have already covered 2D shape में right angle triangle. So if you look at this shape, this is nothing but a right angled triangle, right? So volume is given by this. To compute volume, you just need radius and height. Slant height, if you know radius or height, you can compute this slant length as I told you before also, Pythagorean theorem. Then curved surface area is given by pi into RL. So this is the curved surface area. Like you know, this cone is that cone wala ice cream. That cone. So the paper you need to form a cone is the curved area, surface area, and total surface area is that cone ke liye paper how much you need plus this bottom circle. So this much. This is known as total surface area of a cone. Then next shape is a sphere. As I told you, sphere is like cricket wala ball or football. So that is the 3D shape, and uh, but the parameter you need for that shape is just the radius of the ball. Okay, if you know the radius, you can compute volume as well as surface area. Surface area is the paper you need to form ball, means outer to cover a ball. Maybe hemisphere is if you cut a solid ball into half, so you will get this kind of shape, right? So here again your parameter is just radius. So if you know the radius, you can compute volume of hemisphere. Volume of hemisphere by intuition also you can get that hemisphere is half of the ball, so volume would be half of the volume of the complete ball. Similarly, curved surface area is again half of the total surface area. Total surface area is different because in total surface area you have to cover this curved surface as well as this bottom circle. So this is the formula. So one more thing, as I told you, in 2D shapes also, for solving these problems on 3D shapes, you just need to know shape, some basic idea you should be having, and the formula. That's all. If you know these two things, solving these problems is pretty simple. Okay? So these two things are important. Important tips for CLAT: visualize with 3D diagrams where possible. Try to visualize them. Maintain unit consistency. So, for example, if you are calculating volume, just look at all the units should be in centimeter or in meter or something. So, unit should be consistent. Then memorize a standard formula for volume and surface area, as I told you. Formulas are very important. If you forget any formula, don't spend much time on that particular problem. Try to solve other problems, and then later on, if time permit, then only you come to that particular problem. Then understand relationship among dimensions. Like for example, if you double the radius, what will happen to the volume? If you double or triple the radius, what will happen to the surface area? Okay, let's solve some problems so that you will get some idea what I was trying to say. So first problem is you have to compute volume of a cube with edge 4 centimeter. So first thing you should be knowing that what is a cube. Remember first shape was cube. Cube is this kind of shape where all sides are equal. So all sides were A if you remember. So side is equal to A, and A is given to be 4 centimeter. Now you have to compute volume. So volume of a cube. Do you know the formula? It is A cube. You can check that. Here is a cube. Volume of a cube is A cube, where A is side of the cube. So side is given. You can compute volume. So A cube means A into A into A. That means 4 into 4 into 4. And it is equal to 64 centimeter cube. So option A is correct. So what all do you need to solve this question? First thing is cube ka shape. Roughly you should remember that in cube all sides are equal, and the formula. What is the formula for volume? Right? And that's all. It will take few seconds to solve such problems. Next is surface area of a cube with edge 5 centimeter. Again, shape is same cube. Okay, it is not cube, it is cuboid. So just don't focus on my shape, but please remember cubes are those for which all sides are equal. So in drawing, I may make some mistakes because drawing paper is not perfect. So this side is 5, this side is also 5. So all sides are 5. You have to compute surface area. So what is the formula for surface area of a cube? This you should be knowing. Let's get back. Let's go back to the formula. So here it is. Surface area of a cube is 6a square. If a is the side, it is 6a square. So 6 is a constant as it is. A is 5. So 5 into 5. Remember, no, side is a. A is given to be 5 centimeter. Now just do the multiplication. 5 into 6 is 30. 5, it is 150 centimeter square. Why square? Because centimeter and centimeter, a square. So you are multiplying centimeter twice. So this option B is correct. Is that okay? Again, you should be knowing what is mean by H and the formula. That's all. Next is shape is cylinder. Volume of a cylinder with radius 7 centimeter and height 10 centimeter. So immediately when you read this word cylinder, that cylinder shape should come into your mind, and also the parameter. So in cylinder, if you remember, you had a top circle, you have a bottom circle, and this is the shape of cylinder. Remember? So it is a bit distorted shape, but yeah, this is roughly, that is how a cylinder looks like. And in cylinder you have two parameter, one is radius and other one is the height of the cylinder. That's all. So radius we generally denoted by r. R is 7 centimeter, and height we generally denoted by h, that is 10 centimeter. So again you can see that unique consistency I was telling, no? So you can see that radius and height both are given in centimeters. Okay, so it is good to go. If one was in meter and other were in centimeter, so you had to convert one into the other. So unit should be same. So in whatever unit radius is given, in the same unit height should be given. Then only you can apply the formula. Now next thing is, you know the shape, you know the parameter r and h. Now volume. So formula. Volume of a cylinder. I don't remember. Let's go back to the shapes. Cylinder. Okay, here is the cylinder and this is the volume. Pi r square h. R you know, h you know, pi is a constant. So for computing volume of a cylinder, you just need r and h. So pi r square h. So it is pi r square h. So in the question, pi is already given. It is 22 upon 7. R is 7 centimeter. So that is 7 into 7. And h is 10 centimeter. That is 10. So 7 say 1 7 will get cancelled. So you are left with 22 into 7 into 10. So this multiplication, for this multiplication, let me use my calculator. Otherwise it will take so much time. So first is 22 into 7 into 10. It is 154. So 22 into 7 is 154 into 10. It will give you 150, 154 and 0. So what would be the unit? Can you guess? So here you can see that r is in centimeter, h is in centimeter. So r square means centimeter into centimeter into centimeter. So centimeter cube. So option A is correct. Is that clear? So you just know, you should know the roughly, you should know rough shape and the parameter and the formula. That's all. Next is curved surface of cone. So this problem involved cone. So cone, remember what is a cone? Cone had a bottom circle and a shape of this kind. Remember this ice cream wala cone ice cream. So this is the cone. You have to compute curved surface, just this curved wala surface area. So R is given, that is radius is given to be 3 centimeter and slant height is given, right? L is this, remember? L is this. L is given to be 5 centimeter. If R and L is given, you have to compute curved surface area. Do you remember the formula? You should remember the formula. Let's go back and check the formula. Cone. Here is the cone. So curved surface area is pi r L. Pi into r into L. So it is pi into r into L. Pi is given in the problem. So remember, pi is either you have to take 3.14 or 22 by 7. So either it should be given in the problem, or if you have to decide, you can decide anything. Either 22 by 7 or 3.14, both are correct. So in this problem, it is mentioned. So 3.14 is pi value, r is 3 and 5. So 3.14 into 3 into 5 is 15. Again, let me use my calculator to do this multiplication. Otherwise, it may take some time. 3.14 into 15. It is 47.1. So you can also check 47.1. Can you tell me the units? So pi is a constant, no unit is there. R in centimeter, L in centimeter. So centimeter into centimeter, so centimeter square. So area is always in square, centimeter square, meter square, like that. Volume is always centimeter cube. So for this problem, option A is correct. Am I clear? Next is total surface area of a sphere. A sphere, remember, it is a ball, like cricket ka ball, with radius 7 centimeter. You know that in a sphere you just need one parameter, that is the radius. So radius is given. Radius is, here is the center. So anything, if you touch center, say the surface of the sphere, that distance is the radius. So R is given by 7 centimeter. Now you have to compute total surface area. So total surface area of a sphere. Do you remember the formula? If not, you should remember the formula. Let's go back and check. Sphere. Total surface area is 4 pi square. 4 pi r square. That is total surface area. 4 pi r square. So 4 pi r square. So here you can see that 4 is a constant, pi is a constant given in the problem, r is given in the problem. So let me write 4 into 22 by 7 into r square means 7 into 7. So 1 7 say 1 7 will get cancelled. So you will left with 4 into 22 into 7. Again, I'm going to use my calculator to do this multiplication. Otherwise, it will take some time and I don't want that. 4 into 22 into 7 is 616. So answer is 616. Can you tell me this units? So here you can see that 4 is a constant, pi is a constant, no units, r is square. So r into r is in centimeter. So centimeter into centimeter, that means centimeter square. That is the unit. So option A. Option A is correct. Is that okay? Next is volume of cone. Okay. So cone, remember the shape, bottom circle, and this is the shape for rough shape. Okay. So radius is given, height is given. You have to compute volume. So radius means r is given. Radius is 6 centimeter. So r is 6 centimeter. Height is given. Remember, height we denoted by h is 12 centimeter. Now you have to compute volume of a cone. Do you remember the formula? Actually, I don't remember. So let me go back and check. Volume of a cone. So cone is here. Volume of a cone is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. 1 upon 3 pi r square h. 1 upon 3 pi r square h. This is the formula. Here you can see that 1 upon 3 is a constant. Pi की value already given in the problem. R is already given in the problem. H is already given in the problem. So you just have to plug all these things as it is. Pi is 3.14. R square means 6 into 6 because R is 6 centimeter. H is 12 centimeter. So 3 say 6 will get cancelled in 2. So 3.14 into 2 into 6 into 12. Big multiplication. Let me take help from my calculator. 6 into 2 is 12. 12 into 12 is 144. Now let me use my calculator to solve this. 3.14 into 144. It is 452.16. 452.16. Can you tell me the unit? Everything is in centimeter. So centimeter into centimeter because R you are multiplying twice and then H again centimeter. So centimeter cube. As I told you, volume is always in cube. So A. Option A is correct. Is that okay? So rough shape, parameter and the formula. These three things you should be knowing. Next problem involved hemisphere. Remember hemisphere is half of a solid ball. So it has this bottom circle and this shape. Again, shape is not perfect, but it looks like this. Okay. So half tarbooj, half watermelon. Now it looks a bit better, isn't it? Yeah. So this is your hemisphere. Hemisphere के लिए भी you just need one radius, just one parameter. So radius is given 5 centimeter. R is 5 centimeter. Now volume of a hemisphere. Remember the formula? Volume of a hemisphere. So it is half of the volume of a sphere because it is half of the ball. So but even I don't remember volume of a ball. It is 4 something. Volume of a hemisphere is 2 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, 2 by 3 pi r cube. So 2 by 3 pi r cube. Just plug in everything into the formula. 2 by 3 is a constant, right? Pi is a constant, sorry. 2 by 3 into pi is given in the problem. R is again given in the problem, but we have to plug in 5 into 5 into 5, right? Now, just do the multiplication. Okay, again, I'm going to use my calculator for this multiplication. 3.14 to 5 into 5 is 25 into 5 is 125. Now, I'll be using my calculator for solving for this thing. So, 3.14 into 125 into 2, then divided by 3, isn't it? 216.66666. 261.666 and so on. Okay, can you tell me the unit? So this is a constant, no unit. This is a constant, no unit. R cube. R is given in centimeter, isn't it? So this centimeter cube. So option A is correct. Next problem. Volume of a sphere with radius R. So sphere is a ball. Radius we denoted by R. R is given to be 3 centimeter. So volume of a sphere. It is 2 times volume of a hemisphere. It is 4 upon 3 pi r cube. Let's go back and check whether it is correct. 4 by 3 pi r cube. It is correct. Sphere volume formula is 4 by 3 pi r cube. I remember this formula because I've just used volume the formula for volume of a hemisphere. I know that hemisphere is double of a sphere. So that's why. So these are the tricks you should also by using which you can remember the formulas easily. 4 by 3 as it is constant. Pi is 3.14 given in the problem. R is 3 centimeters. So 3 into 3 into 3. 1 3 say 1 3 will get cancelled. So you have 4 into 3.14 into 3 into 3. So 3 into 3 is 9. So 9 into 4 is 36. 3.14 into 36. Now I will use my calculator for this multiplication. 3.14 into 36 is 113.04. 113.04. Again, can you guess the unit? So 4 by 3 is constant. Pi is a constant. No unit are there. R with centimeter, but you are multiplying it thrice. So centimeter cube. So option A is correct. Is it okay? Next is surface area of cuboid. Remember, cuboid is again sphere cube type of shape, but where all sides are different. Remember? So we used to denote L like this. H is the height, width is this distance. So L is 5 centimeter, B is given to be 3 centimeter, H is given to be 2 centimeter. Now you have to compute surface area. Remember the formula? Surface area of a cuboid. It is 2 into L into H, B into H, and I guess B into L. Let's go back and check. Pairwise multiplication we have to do as far as I remember. So L into B, B into H, L into H. So L into H, B into H, B into L. So just plug in everything. So L into L is 5 into H is 2. B into H means B is 3, H is 2, plus B into L is B is 3, L is 5. Let's do the multiplication. 2 outside as it is. 5 into 2 is 10, plus 3 into 2 is 6, plus 3 into 5 is 15. Just do this addition. 10 and 15 is 25, right? So 25 plus 6. 25 plus 6 is, can you tell me, it is 31. 31 into 2 is 62. Can you tell me the units? So surface area. So here you can see that centimeter. So 2 times you are multiplying. Then again centimeter. So you are summing up centimeter square thrice. So it is just centimeter square. So 62 is the correct answer. Option A is correct. Okay. Next problem. If radius of a sphere is doubled, how does volume changes? So what is the answer? What is the question? So suppose you have a sphere, means you have a ball. Okay. Ball, if there is a ball, there is a volume. So now they are asking, if you double the radius, for example, let's say you have a sphere with radius r. Now you have a sphere with radius 2r. Again, this and this total distances from here to here is 2r. What will happen to the volume? So what is the volume of a sphere? How will you solve such problems? Just look at the technique. Volume of a sphere. 4 by 3 pi r cube, I guess. It is 4 by 3 here. You can see that 4 by 3 pi r cube. Just write down the volume. Volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now what they are saying? They are saying if radius of a sphere is doubled, so what you have to do is, instead of r, plug in 2r into the formula and see what happened. So this is the formula, formula of a volume, formula for volume of a sphere. Now what they are saying, they are doubling the radius. So double the radius. So what will happen to the volume? 4 by 3 as it is, because it is a constant, pi will be as it is. Instead of r, you are plugging 2r. So 2r cube. Now just try to solve it. 4 by 3 pi. 2 into 2 into 2 is, it is 8r cube. So can I write it as 8 times 4 by 3 pi r cube? Isn't it? So it is 8 times volume of the original sphere. So what what will happen if you double the radius? Your volume will get 8 times more. So option C is correct. Is that okay? So whatever, whenever they say anything, and what will happen to volume or surface area, what you have to do is write down the formula for that particular thing. For example, in this one, it is volume. Write down the formula for volume, and whatever they are saying, just make that change. So they are doubling the radius, just double the radius in the volume. Okay, in this formula. So what I did is I just replace R by 2R, and I will just look at, I have just solved it, and I can see that this is the original volume. This is where we have started, right? This is the original volume. You have one factor 8 there. So 8 times. These are the problems for you to practice. So first problem is volume of a hemisphere with radius 6 centimeter. So R is given to be 6 centimeter. You have to compute the volume. So if you remember, volume is 2 by 3 pi R cube. We have already solved such problem. So just you have to plug in the values of R, pi, everything. Use your calculator and check the answer. Okay. Next problem is, what is the total surface area of a cone with radius 7 centimeter and slant height 25 centimeter? Remember, we generally denote radius by R. R is given by 7 centimeter. R is 7, and slant height we generally denoted by L. L is 25 centimeter. Now you just have to use the formula for total surface area of a cone. So let me just check. Total surface area of a cone is given by, cone is here. It is pi r L plus R. It is pi r L plus R. This is the total surface area, right? So here you can see that R and L is given already, right? R and L both are given. Just plug in and you will get, and pi is given in the problem. So you just have to plug in, solve this basic multiplication and addition using your calculator and take the correct answer. Next problem. A cuboid has a surface area of 94 centimeters square with dimension 2, 3 and h. What is h? It is a bit different. So surface area is given. So remember the formula for surface area? Surface area of a cuboid. Remember, cuboid is this kind of shape where all these things are different. This is not correct. So remember, this is L, this side is B, and this is H. Height is H. So here B and L is given, H is unknown. So B is generally this width. So L is the length. So surface area is given by 2 into L into H, B into H plus B into L. Right? Surface area is 94. 2 into, let's say L is 2 and B is 3. H is as it is. H we don't know. This we have to compute. So just substitute. L is 2, H as it is, B is 3, H as it is, L is 2, B is 3. Now solve this. So 94 this side, 2 into 2H plus 3H plus 2 into 3 is 6, right? So this is equal to 2 into 2 plus 3 is 5H plus 6, right? So it is 94 is equal to, just do the multiplication. 2 into 5 is 10H plus 2 into 6 is 12. So this will give you 10H is equal to 94 minus 12. You have to take this 12 on that side and it will get subtracted, right? So if you subtract this 94 centimeter, let me just check this calculation. L into H, B into H, L into B is 6. Oh, it is 12. Sorry, it is not. Oh, yeah, it is correct. 3 and 2 is 5, 10. Okay. So 94 minus 12 is 82. So it should be 80 or something. So now h will be 8.2. H is 82 upon 10 and it will give you 82 8.2. So it is close to 8. So option B you can tick. So that is how you have to solve this problem. If the radius of a sphere is doubled, how does its volume changes? We have already solved such problem. So write down the volume formula. So formula for volume and change R by 2R. That is how you have to solve it. Next is total surface area of a cube with edge 4. So A is given 4 centimeter. You have to compute total surface area. Just you have to use the formula for total surface area of a cube. So go back and check the formula, plug in everything. Next is a cylinder has volume 100 pi centimeter cube with radius 5 centimeter. What is the height? So this again volume is given, you have to compute height. So R is given to be 5 centimeter. H we don't know, H we have to compute. What is the formula for volume of a cylinder? Volume of a cylinder. We have to go and check cylinder. Here we have cylinder. Volume of a cylinder is pi r square h. Pi r square h. Pi r square h. So here volume is given to be 100 pi, right? Just substitute the value is equal to pi into r is given to be 5, right? 5 into 5 and h is unknown. H you have to compute. So pi say this pi will get cancelled, right? So h is equal to 5 into 5 is 25. Can I write it as 25h? So 5, so h is equal to 100 upon 25. Because here 25 was in multiplication. When you take this to this side, it becomes in division. So it is 4. So h is 4. Option B is correct. That is how you have to solve such problems. So as you can see, practice is important. Try to watch the lectures, go through the lectures again before solving a problem by me. Try to solve it by yourself by pausing the video lecture time to time and just practice. Okay, so you have to take care of time management also because you don't have so much time as I have in this lecture. I'm taking so much time because I have to explain everything to you, but practice will give you confidence and these problems should not take such time. Okay, so it should take some 20 to 30 seconds solving one particular problem if you follow the rules. So rules are, try to get some rough idea of the shape, what is mean by cylinder, what is mean by cone, what is hemisphere, all those things. Remember the formula and how do we define radius by r, height by h, slant height by l, all those things, and you are ready to go. Problems are not difficult, you just have to remember these few things. Most importantly, you should remember the formula. Happy learning. I will see you soon in next lecture. All the best for your exam.